Welcome to Pherotone Studios. I've bought a Chapman ML1 Pro X. The X is a kiss, obviously. No, it's the 10-year anniversary Chapman ML1, I think. I should really know. Oh, it looks so good. Now, I was in Malta, in Greck's studio, and I did see his one, and I thought, oh, it looks so good. And look at this. I will do some close-ups, but what I liked about it is it's got, I believe, a poplar burl top. I'm not entirely sure. But where there's the burl, so burl is all these sort of knotty bits, but where they wrap around the edge, there's sort of loads of holes. I thought that was just so cool. Comes with all the Chapman-y things, 3 Seymour Duncan pickups. I can't remember what they are, but these two are some kind of silent, noiseless, stacked single coil, so it shouldn't hum. We'll try that out in a minute. It's got a birdseye maple neck. Birdseye maple roasted. Birdseye roasted maple neck, that'll do. Love a roasted maple neck. Glow in the dark dots, stainless steel frets, really rolled fretboard. Hip shots, locking tuners. I don't know what the nut's made out of. I imagine it's tusk or something. It looks like plastic. I hope it's not plastic. I'll be surprised because everything else is like top spec. Brass bridge saddles. They make the strings ring a lot more. I did a little tone series on which bridge saddles. Whole guitar's vibrating. I'm a bit dehydrated, I'm quite hungover. This did arrive yesterday. I bought it from Toe Man. I've been looking forward to playing it, but I had so many videos to shoot yesterday I didn't have time. So this is sort of the first time, well, it's the first time I've played it. I did have a look at it yesterday, but only in the case. I suppose I should check whether there's any imperfections. One of the things I like about Chapman guitars, and I'm going to Crimson Guitars next week to build my own, is they don't use too much grain filler, so you can see parts of the grain in the body, and I just think that's so much nicer than a flat finish, especially like on my ML3 Pro neck. It's got all the, it's a satin neck, but it's got the you can feel the grain. Just feels, only really works with mahogany because it's quite open, well, very open grain. Oh, it's flamed. This is so nice. I hope it's in tune. Sounds in tune. I don't know what it's tuned to. I hope this works. Oh yeah. Oh, sounds good. It feels really nice. Something about this area feels really nice on my arm. I know that sounds strange because I've got strats and it's got this arm contour, but maybe because it's satin? I don't know, it just feels really, it's really nice. I mean, the setup is ridiculously low, but it doesn't seem to buzz. Let me just check. I mean, it's brilliant. It buzzes a tiny bit on fret 1, which is unusual. It sort of suggests the nuts might be too low, but not enough to actually care about, if I'm being honest. Anyway, position 2. It does buzz a little, so I may need to make the action higher or loosen the springs and the whole bridge will tip up. That'll take about 2 seconds. Position 3. I will whack on some gain in a minute to see how noiseless these... Well, they are really quiet pickups, which is quiet compared to normal single coils. My Fender's not in here, so I would do a comparison. I'll do that in the second half of the video. Position 3. Say, position 3 sounds absolutely incredible, and normally I don't really use position 3 on a Strat. On a telly I'd use the middle position, but it does something completely different. That sounds shockingly good. Position 4. The worst position always. great. It's worth noting on this that position 4 is the middle pickup, which I've just missed, this one, and this split, so it's like a single coil, so it's more like the Strat, whereas position 5 you've got a humbucker. In position 4 you've sort of got, I'm going to say 2 single coils, but it's not really a single coil, is it, because it's half a humbucker, but it's as close to that as you can get for a HSS guitar. It doesn't push pull, which is quite cool because they sort of wear out. It's wonderful to play, it really is nice. Position 5. Bridge is really comfy, and that's a weird thing to say, but sometimes you get scratchy, those grub screw things, whatever they're called, they're a bit scratchy. This is really nice. Right, this has got a load of drive from a pedal. Let's see how quiet the pickups are. That one's not as much. The single coils are quieter than the humbucker, and of course in position 4 it's noisy because it's a split humbucker, so these are stacked, so half the coils are wound the opposite way, I think, so that's why they're quieter, whereas this won't be, which is why position 4 is loud. But the humbucker, maybe because the output's a lot higher. Don't know. Anyway, let's hear how it sounds. Okay, a couple of things I've noticed. It's got the normal, I've spoken to Rob about this, so the tone knob, let's put the volume back on. The tone only really works from like 0 to 3, and from about 3 to 10 it's just on. So the bottom part of it turns out you can't get the factory to put a different type of pot in. There's some things you just can't do, so that's just how, not just Chapman guitars, loads of guitars are made in that factory. It's just one of the things to be aware of. I don't like the tone pots, so I probably will change that. This bridge pickup's really dark. I don't know if I like it. I like all the other sounds, but that just doesn't have any high end. I don't know if I'm imagining that compared to a normal humbucker, but I expect it to really kick through, and it sort of doesn't. I don't know which pickup it is. That's the bridge pickup. I think what it is compared to the single coils, these are a lot brighter. So maybe I'm just imagining it sounds a bit dark. It's incredible to play. I think if I was going to change anything, well, 100% I'm going to change that tone pot for about a £5. So that'd be fun. But the guitar is faultless. It plays absolutely incredibly, and I love the Pro range. I love the satiny finishes, rolled edges. You don't get on many guitars, although I think you're starting to get them on Harley Bentons, and you're starting to get roasted necks on Harley Bentons. So they're really upping their game for like a £400 guitar. But this sort of spec you don't get on guitars, really. You get them on really high-end guitars, and this is only, I think, 1,200 quid? 1,230, I can't remember. Something like that, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but you could pay double that and not get some of these things. Locking tuners, they're great. I'm not that fussed about locking tuners. I just like nice tuners. Grovers are my favourites, but you don't really get them of the style I like on the 6er side, because it's not a Gibson Les Paul or a 3-in-3 type headstock. But they are a nice ratio. I think they're 18 to 1. That might not mean anything to anyone, but nice tuners make a big difference. These are really nice. Stainless steel frets, I like them because of the look. I don't find them, some people don't like the feel, like Pete Honore doesn't like the feel, finds them too slippery. No idea what he's talking about, to be honest. I mean, he's a way better guitarist than me, so he must know what he's talking about, but I'm not advanced enough to be able to feel that. Love the satiny roasted maple neck. For those of you who follow my channel, I'm putting roasted maple necks on a lot of instruments that don't have them. I've got rid of everything that has a glossy neck, so just feels great. They come with all these extra contours, so obviously you get the Strat gut cut and arm contour. This feels extra nice, I think because it's satin, but you get this slopey bit on the back of the headstock. Back of where the plate is. I don't know what this area is called, but you get these spoon cuts as well. Has it got two? Yep. Just for axe, it just looks nice, feels nice, and it's a proper cap on it. This is a really, really high spec guitar. That you couldn't upgrade anything on this, apart from that tone pot for a £5. I'll have to see if I do actually like that pickup. I can't remember what it is, but I'll do a second half of this video where I've had the guitar longer than 5 minutes to know if I actually still love it. For being completely honest, I think this is one of my top 3 guitars at the moment. We'll see if that changes. If you're going to get a Chapman, I don't really like the standard range. I played a few of them. They're just like a Fender player. They're really good. You don't play them and go, this is the best guitar I've ever played. The Pro range are such a step up from the standard range. I know you pay for that, but this is quite expensive one. This is about $1,200. With my Chapman ML1 Pro, I think I paid $650 for it. It was nearly 2 years ago, and they've gone up since then because everything's in short supply at the moment. And I don't even know if you get hard cases with everything anymore. I've got one with this, which is one of the reasons I bought it. I've got one with that, but some aren't coming with hard cases. Chapman do make really good cases. But the Pro range just come with such a higher spec for some, like if you go from your standard Fender to a deluxe Fender, I can't remember what the top of the range Fender is, you don't get much more for the money really, whereas with a Chapman the spec is completely different, but just monumentally better. So if you're going to get a Chapman, I'd always go Pro, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. And I've spoken to Rob about some of the things on this, so I don't think they really advertise it enough, but the spec is designed so the guitar will last you forever, hence the stainless steel frets, and why sometimes the switch configuration can be a bit strange, and they sort of avoid push-pulls if they can, because things that wear out, they don't want your guitar to wear out. I know it happens, but it's designed to last, well, forever. Just as a side note, I did buy this. We've got another studio that's currently being rebuilt, and I've been toying with which guitar to leave there, so I just don't want to bring stuff between studios. This was going to be it, but I don't want to leave it there because I'd rather have it with me to play. It really is that good, honestly. Welcome back. I hope I'm not in the same outfit as the first part of this video. I've played this absolutely loads now, and I was worried that the bridge pickup didn't sound bright enough. I was wrong. So in context, I used that rehearsal and some studio stuff. It sounds absolutely fine. Just for reference, you normally have different pots and capacitors for single coils and humbuckers, so you sort of have a bit of an odd mixture when it comes to an HSS guitar. So you could take these out and replace them with not concentric pots, but where it's got two backs to it, so you could have a 500k and a 250k, but one knob, and the 500k is for the humbucker and the 250k is for the single coils, and the same with the tone knob with a capacitor for each. I might do that. I don't know if I can be bothered. I also can't find a wiring diagram where there's a 5-way switch. It would have to be a 5-way super switch, and one of those double pots with just one volume, one tone. I can find it where there's one volume, two tones, like on a Strat. If anyone can find that, please let me know, because I may do it. It does have a couple of problems, which I'll get to in a minute, but it sounds great. They're not the best sounding single coils, but these are noiseless, so half the bobbin is wound one way and half is wound the other way. I think it might be split with a little divider in the middle. I'm not entirely sure. That makes it noiseless. So the best sounding pickups, I mean, are still the Fat 50s on my Strat. Would I put those in this? No, because having silent single coils is just invaluable. It just makes life so much easier. You get none of that. I'll do a proper comparison, but there's no 60 cycle hum in that. That's fantastic. In fact, the humbucker's louder, but it is hotter. I was worried the bridge pickup was too dark. It's not. It sounded perfect all the way through rehearsal. Also slightly concerned that I now have a bit of a preference for a guitar with single coils and a humbucker. After playing it, especially with the band, it really suits our music well. And I found I was playing it a bit weirdly. So I do my clean rhythm on the middle pickup. So this sort of thing. And that sounds great. And then with a bit of drive on the front pickup, so for the more that sort of thing, and then anything really driven on the bridge pickup. And it was so nice to play. It stayed in tune. I might block off the tremolo because I don't use it, but I kind of do a thing where do a little bend down at the end of every song, which probably would get repetitive, but it's nice doing that because I normally play well, guitars that are hardtail, and I don't really want to keep bending the neck. Like I said, there are two problems with this. One of them isn't going to affect many people because most guitarists don't use the tone, but the tone knob they use in these guitars, in all Chapmans, and it's not just Chapmans, loads of guitar companies use this. Fender players, I haven't noticed it. Gibsons, no, but they use the wrong type of pot, in my opinion. This is subjective, so look. All the action is like from 3 to 4, and then it's just sort of on from 5 upwards. I like more of a usable sweep, so I'll change that out. That's a $5. I'm actually going to change that on 3 Chapman guitars today. An ML1, an ML2 and an ML3. One of them's not mine, just because I use the tone knob a lot. If you don't use the tone knob, who cares? And it may not bother you. Some people like it as it's sort of a... Well, I've heard it used as a fine tune, but I just... not for me. The other thing, which I think is a benefit, so these side dots, these glow in the dark. So when it's light, like in here, I can see these side dots perfectly. That's great. And when it's dark, if you charge them up with a, probably better to use a UV light because you've probably had it in a case and it's just been out under some lights charging. But these dots glow in the dark when it's dark, so you can see where they are. But when it's sort of in between, because it's a maple neck, a roasted maple neck, and the side dots, not a similar colour, but they've got like a little dark halo around them, when the reflection's just right off of whatever's around you, they go invisible. So they're not glowing in the dark because it's not dark enough, and it's not light enough to see the black outline. They're sort of this in-between stage, and I'm like, oh, I can't see where I am. It was really, really a difficult rehearsal. To the point where I thought, should I drill them out and just replace them with black dots so I can see it? I think I will, but it's just something to be aware of. I didn't realise how much I relied on the side dots until I couldn't see them. I thought I just knew where the frets were, but yeah, after a few beers it gets difficult. Would I recommend this guitar? Absolutely 100%. I kind of wish it was Les Paul shaped and more carved, but then it would look weird with HSS. Well, even if it was the same shape and it had a full carved top, I'd probably prefer it, but it's got such a nice finish. It's absolutely amazing to play. It really is. And I think if you're going to the studio and you wanted to take one guitar, you could take this. I think I probably would, to be honest. Normally I take a Gibson, double humbucker Gibson, and this blue Strat, because the single coils just sound incredible, and probably a Nashville guitar. I'd always take a Nashville unless the song doesn't really suit it. But do I need to take those? No, I could take this and a spare set of strings. If you're going to the studio, you should probably have new strings anyway. This could do everything. Really nice hard case. I was talking to Steve about this. If you don't know who Steve is, look at more of my videos. And he said he'd never wanted to become a Chapman fanboy, and neither do I, or neither did I. I love them. Absolutely love them. They are so good. For the money, I don't think you can beat them. And I was talking to Rob about this. I said, I was looking at this guitar and I was thinking, what could I upgrade? I couldn't think of anything. And he said, yeah, we spoke to the factory and we were like, what else could we improve on this? You know, what could we make it higher spec? And there is nothing they could do. So he confirmed that this is the highest spec that you can get out of a factory. And genuinely, like, what could you get more than this? Like, if you bought a custom shop Fender, I mean, it'd be probably aged or relicked if you wanted it. But this has a rolled fingerboard, stainless steel frets, so the neck's going to last forever. Locking hip shot tuners, which are, Grovers are my favourites on a 3-3, and hip shots are probably my favourite on a 6-a-side. Apart from replacing that tone knob and maybe making the dots just stand out more somehow, you can't, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And it's got the sort of satin finish on, I believe this is mahogany, without the grain filler, which is my favourite type of finish. So I'm building a guitar at Crimson Guitars. A lot of you know, you'll see that soon, well, by the end of the year probably. And I love a sort of mahogany finish, so a big open grain that hasn't been grain filled. So it's sort of flat and satiny, but it's got the tiny dimples from the grain. So my Chapman ML1 Pro neck was my inspiration for, I want the guitar I'm building to have the same feel neck. Also the Ibanez SRC6 bass, it's got the same sort of thing, but it's a walnut neck. Just a satin finish with the grain. I kind of wish the neck was that as well, but I can't decide what I prefer out of roasted maple. This is a massive tangent. Neck-wise, roasted maple or a satin mahogany that's not grain filled. Oh, do you like this? I like this. Would you get one? I think it's limited edition. I don't know. It's the Pro X, the 10-year anniversary. Thank you for watching. Please leave some comments. Let me know what you think. It looks beautiful.